Imagine someone showed you a video of the happiest day of your life. You laughed, you cried, you experienced something unforgettable. Except, you have absolutely no memory of it. Now imagine that happened not once, not twice, but for the first 3 years of your life. Think about it. You learned to walk. You learned language. You recognized your parents. Your brain was working harder than it ever would again. And yet, almost all of it is gone, vanished. Scientists call this one of the strangest mysteries of the human mind, because the question isn't just why you forgot those memories. The real mystery is, if your baby brain was constantly learning, where did all those memories actually go? And what if they're not completely gone at all? Most people believe they can't remember being a baby because they were simply too young. Case closed. Mystery solved. Except, that explanation creates a much bigger problem. Babies remember things all the time. In fact, if they couldn't, they would never learn anything. A baby remembers faces, voices, places, routines, foods, words. They can recognize people they've seen before. They can learn patterns. They can even remember events for weeks and sometimes months. So if babies can form memories, why can't adults access them? For more than a century, scientists searched for answers, and what they discovered was stranger than anyone expected, because the problem may not be memory itself. The problem may be the version of you that existed back then. Let's start with something weird. What's your very first memory? Maybe blowing out birthday candles, maybe playing with a toy, maybe a family vacation. Now think carefully. How old were you? Most people say somewhere between 3 and 4 years old. Not 1, not 2, almost always around 3. Scientists found this pattern all over the world. Different countries, different cultures, different languages. Same result. It's like a giant wall exists between your earliest memories and everything before them. But why does the wall appear there? At first, researchers thought babies simply couldn't create long-term memories. That sounded reasonable, until experiments proved otherwise. In one famous study, babies were shown a special toy train. When they kicked their legs, the train moved. Very quickly, they learned the connection. Kick, train moves. Fun. Then, researchers brought them back later. Days later. Weeks later. Sometimes even months later. And the babies still remembered. The memory was there. So now scientists had a problem. Babies clearly could create memories, yet adults couldn't remember being babies. Those two facts shouldn't exist together, unless something else was happening. And that's when researchers started looking deeper inside the brain. What they found changed everything. Deep inside your brain sits a structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as your memory librarian. When important experiences happen, the hippocampus helps organize them. Without it, forming new memories becomes extremely difficult. So naturally, scientists looked at baby brains, and what they discovered was shocking. The hippocampus wasn't fully developed yet. It was still under construction. At first, this seemed like the answer. Mystery solved. Except once again, reality refused to cooperate, because babies were still remembering things. Not only that, some memories lasted surprisingly long. The hippocampus was immature, yet memories still existed. So researchers kept digging, and eventually they found a clue hidden in something nobody expected: brain growth itself. Most people imagine memory loss as information being deleted, like pressing a button on a computer, gone forever. But what if your baby memories weren't deleted? What if they got buried? Imagine writing a note on a small balloon. Now imagine inflating that balloon 1,000 times larger. The note still exists, but it's stretched, distorted, and almost impossible to read. Something similar may happen inside the developing brain. During early childhood, the brain grows at an astonishing speed. Millions upon millions of new neural connections appear. Entire networks reorganize themselves. The brain is constantly rewiring, and that rewiring creates a fascinating possibility. Maybe early memories become harder to find because the brain's filing system keeps changing. But scientists discovered something even stranger, something that made the mystery far deeper. Because growth wasn't just affecting memories. Growth might actually be destroying access to them. A few years ago, researchers studied young mice. The results were surprising. Baby mice could learn, they could remember. But as their brains rapidly produced new neurons, new brain cells their earlier memories became harder to retrieve. Then researchers slowed that process, and suddenly memory retention improved. This led to a remarkable idea. The very thing helping young brains learn might also be disrupting older memories. Think about that. The brain's incredible ability to grow may come with a hidden cost. Every new wave of learning could partially overwrite the pathways leading to older experiences. Your brain wasn't failing, it was upgrading, and the upgrade may have buried your earliest memories. But there was still one huge problem. Even if memories became harder to access, why do our earliest memories disappear almost completely? Why not lose only some of them? Why such a dramatic cutoff? The answer may involve something far more personal: your sense of self. Right now, you experience life as a continuous story. You know who you are. You have a name, a history, a personality. You are the main character of your own life. But babies don't experience reality that way. Not yet. The idea of me develops gradually, very gradually. A baby experiences sights, sounds, feelings, sensations, but the organized narrative we call identity isn't fully formed. And memories work differently when identity is missing, because many of your strongest memories aren't just events. They're stories about yourself, the first day at school.com, your favorite birthday, a family trip. Those memories connect to a version of you that understands who you are. But before that self exists, memory may be stored in a completely different way, almost like files saved in a format your adult brain can no longer open. And if that's true, then your forgotten baby years aren't just hidden. They're written in a language your current mind barely understands. Now the mystery gets even stranger, because some scientists believe fragments survive, not as memories, but as influences. Imagine hearing a song and suddenly feeling safe or uneasy without knowing why. Imagine instantly trusting someone or fearing something without remembering where the feeling came from. Early experiences can shape emotional systems long before conscious memories form. You may not remember the event, but your brain remembers the lesson. It's like deleting the movie while keeping the soundtrack. The details vanish, the effects remain, and that means you're forgotten. Years may still be affecting your life, every single day, even if you can't consciously recall them. But the biggest revelation was still waiting, because researchers eventually asked a radical question. What if baby memories never truly disappeared at all? For decades, forgetting seemed inevitable, like death or aging, something nobody could avoid. Then a series of experiments produced a shocking possibility. Some memories thought to be lost might actually remain stored somewhere in the brain, hidden, inactive, difficult to reach, but not erased. Researchers found cases where forgotten information could sometimes be recovered under special conditions, not perfectly, not reliably, but enough to raise eyebrows, enough to make scientists rethink the entire idea of forgetting. Because if memories can exist without being accessible, then memory loss and memory destruction are not the same thing. Imagine having a book locked inside a library.com. The book still exists. You just can't find the key. And suddenly, the mystery changes. The question isn't, why were baby memories deleted? The question becomes, why can't adult brains access them? That is a completely different mystery, and it leads to one of the most fascinating twists in neuroscience. What if forgetting your baby years is actually useful? At first, that sounds ridiculous. Who wouldn't want more memories, more experiences, more pieces of their life? But imagine remembering everything, every sound, every face, every moment, every tiny detail from birth onward. The human brain would drown in information. To function efficiently, brains must prioritize. They must decide what stays accessible and what moves into storage. In a strange way, forgetting is not a bug, it's a feature, a survival tool. Your brain isn't designed to remember everything. It's designed to remember what helps you navigate the future. During infancy, the brain faces an enormous challenge. Learn language, learn movement, learn social behavior, learn the physical world, learn almost everything. To accomplish that task, the brain may sacrifice detailed autobiographical memories. Instead of preserving every moment, it extracts patterns, rules, skills, knowledge. The experience disappears. The learning remains. And suddenly, everything looks different. Your missing memories weren't necessarily wasted. They became part of you, So why did your baby memories disappear? Not because your baby brain couldn't remember. Not because those years were unimportant, and probably not because the memories were completely erased. They disappeared because your brain was transforming faster than at any other time in life. Its memory systems were still developing. Its neural connections were constantly reorganizing. Its sense of self had not fully formed, and its priority was learning, not preserving a personal history. The result was something extraordinary. Your earliest experiences helped build the person you are today, but the bridge connecting those experiences to conscious memory slowly faded away. The memories shaped you, even when you could no longer see them. And that's the real answer. Your baby memories didn't simply vanish. They became the foundation beneath everything you are. Right now, somewhere inside your brain exists the result of thousands of forgotten moments. The voice that comforted you, the faces that made you smile, the experiences that taught you safety, trust, language, and connection. You may never remember them directly, but they helped create the person watching this video, which means the most important years of your life may also be the years you can barely recall. And maybe that's the strangest part of all. The story that shaped you the most is the one you'll never fully remember. So the next time someone asks for your earliest memory, remember this. The real mystery isn't what you forgot. The real mystery is how much of it is still living inside you.